Welcome to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement, part of the Treehouse Podcast Network. I'm your host, retired officer Steve Rutherford. Your co-host for today, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Thanks for having me.
We've got two guests joining us in studio. We've got returning guest, Officer Michael Britton.
Thanks for having me again.
And also joining us in studio, we've got retired officer Dave Wallace.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, everybody. Everybody doing all right today?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Outstanding. Now, Michael, you were on episode 2.
Yes.
Okay. Number two.
It was his duty.
The deuce.
Do.
Wow. All right. We
It's
can
going to
just
start like this. It's going to start like this.
It is.
Yeah, we're going to
Okay.
refer to him as number 2. Number 2. No, we won't do that to you. So you are an officer. How long have you been an officer?
21 years.
Okay. And just
That
for
well, huh? The big sigh.
wow. Just to remind our listeners here, you've been an officer for 21 years. What kind of position do you hold right now as an officer?
I'm a crime prevention officer right now.
Okay. You're out there preventing crime.
Well, sort of, from inside the building.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're giving people ideas of how to not have crime occur
Exactly.
to them
Exactly.
from inside the building.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Dave,
Yes, sir.
you are a retired officer. What agency did you work for?
I work for the Modesto Police Department, Modesto, California.
Okay. How long have you out there?
20. Well, combined that and the local sheriff's department, I did 29 plus.
Okay. Michael, you've only got 8 to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, Steve, I also want to say we here at we do this podcast. We like keeping it fresh. We imported our last guest there, Dave, from Tennessee as of this morning. He flew in.
Yeah. Now, you're no longer in California. You're in Tennessee now, correct?
I'm trying to be in the witness protection program, but I'm not doing a very good job.
I mean, you're in Florida.
Yes, I'm just outside Chattanooga.
Yeah, and then the funny, well, not so funny story. Prior to the show today, Dave was going to be joining us as a remote guest.
Yes.
And you're traveling from Chattanooga to Louisiana today, and you're
Yes.
going to join us remotely from Louisiana. However, your flight, which carried you through DFW Airport, had some delays.
Yes.
And you missed your connecting flight.
Missed my connector, and I won't be able to get out till late this afternoon. So,
But because of that misfortune, Curtis ran out to the airport and picked you up. So here you are in studio.
yes, sir.
That's awesome. We're glad to have you here. So yeah, that's neat. So Curtis, you went out.
We keep it fresh here, man. We bring them in.
You kidnapped our remote guest and said, "No, you're coming
Yeah.
here."
Well, we were also trying to save on bandwidth, so I mean, it just worked out. So
Weren't sure about the connection in Louisiana.
No connection issues now.
Oh, well, Dave, over your time in law enforcement, your 29 plus years, what all positions did you hold?
Well, the patrol, started there. Did some time as a leather god, riding motors, ride, look, bitching. And then did that for about 4 years and spent some time in the gang unit, worked our street gangs. Probably, I'm not going to lie, that's probably my favorite time in the job. But, mama and the kids took priority and had to leave,
Sure.
Spent a couple, 3 years in school resource in schools as an SRO while the wife went to nursing school. And then I ended up promoting to detective at the very end and spent some time property crimes and auto theft.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you did a little bit of everything.
I had a fun time.
Very good.
And got paid for it.
Yeah, that's the best part. If you get paid for it.
Compensation.
Well, at least Mama did. She got paid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Understandable there. So in those 29 plus years, see anything?
A few things. Listening on the show a little bit and some prior commentary. One of the things is that my very, very first pursuit, my very first day on my own, my car, no training officer, so there I am flying without a safety net.
Nice.
And not a half hour into the shift, I get behind a stolen Honda. And here I am, I'm going to take this dude down, right? So lights go green, he takes off, I hit the burners, and 30 seconds later, it just started to sprinkle, so the oil on the road. We rounded the corner. Fortunately, it's like a freeway frontage road, so it was nice and wide. And my pursuit lasted maybe 30 seconds and 200 feet because I did a complete 360 as I rounded that corner, got caught up in the oil, and the car took off down on the on-ramp of the freeway, and I came up and on the radio, tried to be cool, catch my breath, make sure I didn't crash into anything, and all right, relax. All right, I'm going to cancel this pursuit, due to conditions, due to traffic, I'm canceling, right?
Awesome.
So I end up getting a written accommodation by the sergeant for decision making off of that. When I waited about I waited 3 or 4 years before I actually told him the truth about doing a complete spin out and almost crashing.
This was pre-camera.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, damn straight.
You looked like you sounded like a hero on that radio.
Man, I mean, he talked me up in briefing the next day.
Due to safety reasons.
Great, great decision making and everything. He didn't realize I sucked up my shorts, when I was spinning out of control.
Leading by
Jesus,
example.
take the wheel. Pull it together. Don't cry. Don't cry. We're going to go and this pursuit's going to be terminated.
Yeah, hazard conditions.
You in a Caprice or the Crown Vic?
That was the Square Box 89 Crown Vic.
I think it was a covered wagon.
With
No traction.
Yeah,
Covered wagon.
Wow.
Wow.
Had about the same braking system as a covered wagon.
I bet it did.
Yeah, 3 corners and you were done.
You got to put a light on top. You just
Yeah.
throw the red light on top.
Yeah.
That was a
Throw it on top, plug in the cigarette lighter.
Exactly.
You're good to go. Well, that's it. That's ingenious because, there's so many times somebody runs, it's your instinct to chase them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be called off that. And that's hilarious that they made it, that it came across as the fact that you had your own, I don't know what I'm looking for. You
Foresight to.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to call it off. It's dangerous. This is hazardous, when that's the last thing you would have ever wanted to do in that case. But that's beautiful. Yeah. Got your accommodation.
Nice written. We used to call them goldenrods. It'd go in your file, and so it showed up in my yearly, eval and everything. It was.
You're just leading by example, man.
Hey, baby,
Just leading by
got
example.
to do what you got to do, right?
Everybody's looking up to you.
Yeah, fake it till you make it, boys.
Cool.
Took the car to the car wash, got all the grass and dirt off of it.
Fortunately, it didn't leave pavement. As I used to say, rubber side down, boys, rubber side down.
There you go.
Now, Michael, we know that you'd already established in episode 2, you started working in Memphis.
Yes.
And prior to coming to Texas, and you kind of earned the nickname from all of us, Memphis.
Yes.
Because you and I worked together for a number of years. Any other Memphis stories out there?
Yeah. So, okay, I'll give you one. When I was on patrol, I think this was right before I went to narcotics. I was doing a family violence, we call it family violence or domestic disturbance call, and the boyfriend had left, so I'm just there taking a report. I said, ma'am, tell me what happened first. She gives me a 15-minute, just going every detail known to man. He did this, he did that. He took off when he saw y'all coming, and he hit me. He did all. It was okay. Now, what we had in Memphis was little forms called hold harmless forms. You read the top half, what you need to do go to course and get protective orders and everything. At the bottom, little paragraph, you write what happened. If you needed more room, you wrote on the back of it. Once you were done, I tore it off, Gave you the top half. We're good to go. Sounds simple, right? So after these 15 minutes of this long story, you write down what happened for me. She starts writing, get my clipboard, kitchen counter, and I'm starting to write the report, filling in the information, his information, her information. About a minute in, she hands me back the paper. Okay. Take it, and I read it. Him hit me face. Him is spelled with 2 M's, hit 2 T's, me spelled correctly, face, F-A-S-E-E. I said, F-A-S. Exactly.
Oh.
I said, okay, well, you got to put a little bit more in this, like, who is him, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, they tell me why, what started it. Okay, yeah. Give it back to her. I go back to do what I'm doing. 30 seconds later, she gives it back. No, you didn't write all this in here. You didn't put anything in. Let me see it. Him hit me face. Mad.
Mad.
M-A-D-D. Okay. First off, the first letter in the sentence is not capitalized. There's no period. There's no nothing. I'm like, all right, look, you need to tell me who, what, when, where, and why. Who did this? What's his name? What happened? Okay. Give it back to her. Start doing what I'm doing. Another 20 seconds or whatever, she gives it back. Him hit me face. Mad. Comma. Really. R-E-I-L-L-I-E. Period. Listen, you're going to have to tell me.
Yeah.
Him who? Who is the guy? Why did he do it? She goes, I told you. I was like, no, you just wrote him hit me face. Mad. Really? She says, yeah, he was really mad. Okay, fine. I'll just take it. At the PD, you have who had a lieutenant, and some of those we would put them, copy them, and put them on the wall.
Yeah.
So
Report of the month.
report of the month type thing. And I put it up there, and Lieutenant called me in the office. He was like, "This isn't funny. You need to actually bring the real one in. You're just trying to get some on the wall." I was like, No.
This is it.
This is it. So he called her. She cussed him out. I wrote what happened. That's all you're going to get. Why you keep messing with me? He was like, ma'am, look, just tell me what happened. I'll write it down. We'll have something to go with. I told you. He hit me. He was really mad. Okay. Speaking of commendation, I got one.
No, you didn't.
For
Yes,
that.
I did. Yes, I did.
Did it say, like, he got accommodation? That's it? Spelled incorrectly?
Him did.
Him did.
No. And the problem was this wasn't my shift lieutenant where our shifts overlap. This was the incoming lieutenant. And he looked at it. He was just like, you know what? I want to commend you. It's like, what? He was like, because there's no way I could have done that without just cursing her out or just going off and getting a complaint. So there you go.
I was wondering what the accommodation was for. I'm like, well,
Well, I mean, it's more of a verbal, but trust me, I am not one to sit and deal with something like that. I gave it my all. It was just one of those Memphis days. It was hot. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I just gave up. Because when she wrote, him hit me, and I said, him who? And she wrote mad, and I was like, and then she wrote really, and then she was like, him, he hit me, really mad. I was like, why you couldn't just write? Never mind. Just give up.
sir, is there a warrant somewhere in Tennessee for a suspect named him?
Probably.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave? What?
I'm going to change gears on you and tell you about a cold winter night.
Oh. We
So-
just went from hot Memphis
I know.
to cold winter night. Was it a dark and stormy night?
It wasn't quite stormy, but it was foggier than all get out. We couldn't have seen across this room.
Uh-oh.
I'm driving along about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30, somewhere in that neighborhood. And out in the country, working for the sheriff's office at the time. And my buddy's doing a ride-along. And you guys, I know you're not as old as I am, but there used to be a movie called Porky's. Okay.
Yeah, no, never. No.
Never seen that.
No.
So- Where the two officers are driving down the road and the naked guy goes running the opposite direction. And they're like looking at each other like, did we just see what we thought we just saw? Well, I'm driving out in the country and because it's so foggy, I'm only doing like 20, 25 miles an hour. following the fog line and the dotted line to stay between them. And all of a sudden, we go by this guy who is standing on the fog line. I thought I ran his feet over. That's how close he was to the street. And he's wearing nothing but 2 couch pillows. He's got one in front and one in back. And I go a little bit farther and I look at my buddy and I go, did I just see what I thought I saw?
Yeah.
He goes, did you see a naked man too? And I said, yeah. So I flip around, I come, I spotlight him, and sure enough, there he is standing now a little farther off the road. And I could hear him yelling something. So I got the windows, and I rolled the window down a little bit, and I pull up. Dude, what's the matter with you? He tells me that he and this young lady had met up at the bar or knew each other prior and rekindled things, and they were doing the nasty in the living room of his rental house, and he called her by the wrong name. So she just immediately jumps up and bolts out the front door and runs out into the fog, and he's standing out there on the edge of the street calling out her name, trying to get her to come back.
Holding his pillows.
Wearing just the 2 pillows.
So I'm guessing he didn't have any ID on him.
Yeah, no, I didn't frisk him for it either.
I bet you didn't.
Yeah, don't
I'm gonna
ask
take
him.
you at face value there, sir.
Yeah, we're not going to ask you to retrieve your
Yeah.
wallet.
You didn't want to double check. You
No,
we're good.
never did find her either, though.
But did you look?
Well, you kind
You can only see across the room.
Well, you try to do try to do a little security check. I mean, it is cold, to make sure headlights are working. I guess I don't know.
Wow.
Could leave her out there with no pillows.
Yeah, I mean, did she get to take any pillows with her? I mean, whatever. Yeah.
They're still together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still together.
Think so. That was a bonding. That was
Relationship is strong.
Which leads into my next naked body call.
no. Wait, you.
Oh, here we got the theme.
I'm starting to wonder on this one because you didn't say naked person on this. You just said naked body.
Well, I'm there. Yeah. You. I think you're getting my gist here.
That's how it starts.
So, there I was, minding my own business. Actually, I was kissing up to the dispatchers. I brought them coffee. So I'm down at our comm center downtown, and Sergeant rolls in, and as we're standing there talking with them, a dead body call comes in, and it's at a trailer park, one of those banjo picker trailer parks, just across the river, And so
Banjo picker trailer park.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Actual name.
It's about 11:30 midnight, and the call comes in. It's not my beat, but he looks at me and goes, "Hey, let's go handle that." And I thought, "You got a mouse in your pocket? Because the we thing is going to be me. I mean,
Yeah.
the stripes are going to keep you from handling it." So anyway, long story short, that's where we ended up. We pull up. This gal is 5 feet tall, about 5 feet wide. She's probably 320 if she weighs an ounce. And she dies on the toilet in the bathroom of this trailer. Okay. Now, this trailer park's one of those, anytime patrol cars rolled in, people start gathering around like, it's like watching Jerry Springer or something. So,
Yeah. Got to see what's going on.
Entertainment, yeah.
So anyway, we go up and she's fallen off the toilet and she's like blocking the door. So I've got to shove her off the door, and turns out she's stark naked. She had fecal matter down her legs, because she was, she died pinching one off. And so the sergeant looks at it, he goes, "I've seen enough."
Oh, yeah.
He bugs out.
Leaves you holding the bag.
Yeah.
But he goes, "Hey, another deputy in his training came." So long story short, they showed up. And then we called for the coroner's van, and the deputy that was doing that job for the month, he shows up. Well, I tell him, I said, "Look, the family's starting to arrive. the training officer, he went and stood at the end of the hall with a big sheet to cover what was, block their view of what we're doing in the back. I said, go get the body bag. Let's get a sheet. We'll throw her on a sheet. We'll drag her out, and we'll put her in the body bag in the hall, and then we'll take her out the back door, throw her on the gurney, and put her in the coroner's van.
Yeah.
So nobody has to see this.
Simple.
So, here we are trying to fumble with this body, literally dead weight.
That was terrible.
In
They
this,
did the
Dave,
quotes.
Dave, that was terrible.
He did the quotes.
I'm sorry.
He did.
In this small bathroom, in trailer, she's like I said, she's 5 wide, and the hallway of the trailer is only about 2.5 feet wide. So we finally get her drug out, and we go to drag her, and the coroner deputy, he looks at me, he goes, what do you need me? And I said, I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm grabbing an arm, and I grab this arm, and he steps over, he goes, I got this other one. So I told the trainee, and I go, well, guess which end you get? So I go glove up well, and so we're dragging her. We get her in the bag. We zip it up, and we're pulling it down the hall. Finally get it out to the back door. Okay, so you're trying to be as dignified as you can. I mean, we really are,
Of course. Yeah.
But we go to throw up on the gurney, and so you're doing this, swing motion. I'm like, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Wait, we do on 3 or before 3? Where are we at here?
As we go up on 3, the other guy across from me, he doesn't raise her head up high enough on his side. So her head hits the end of the gurney, and the gurney shoots down the road. He forgets to set the brake on the gurney. So here we are. The 3 of us are chasing this gurney down the road, carrying this dead body in this body bag.
Mistakes were
just-
made.
By
Just-
then,
Trying to catch the gurney, huh?
yeah. So,
All right. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do right now. Right now, we're going to catch a break. We'll be back to more Offbeat in just a minute. Welcome back. Welcome back to more Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, retired officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis Hadley.
Thanks for having me.
Joining us in studio, we've got Michael Britton,
Glad to be here.
and we've got retired officer Dave Wallace.
thanks for having me.
So before we get too far here, and I'd like to remind our listeners, if you have not been to our website, check it out, offbeatcopshow.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow.com. You can find all episodes on the website, but you can also subscribe to our email list. So make sure you get on there, subscribe to the email list. If you are an officer and you have a funny story that you would like to come on the show and tell our listeners, send us an email, offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Also, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right, Dave,
Yes, sir.
how long you been retired now?
2018 and 2020. I retired from the PD 2018, and then I went and goofed off at the district attorney's office as an investigator for 2 more years, and enjoyed that, and before moving to Tennessee.
Very nice. And I understand now that you volunteer with a national nonprofit group.
I do, sir. I'm very proud to say I'm a national board member for Concerns of Police Survivors, which is an organization that we assist family members, friends, and coworkers of fallen officers killed in the line of duty.
Outstanding. Very good. And, it's sad that we have to have an organization like that.
Yeah.
But the Concerns of Police Survivors organization helps out a lot of families,
Yes.
a lot of coworkers of officers that lost their lives in the line of duty. And unfortunately, you're no stranger to that situation.
No, I lost my patrol sergeant, Steve May. He was killed in a car wreck And the wreck was actually July of 2002. He was in a coma for 7 years and died July 23rd, 2009. And then my brother, Deputy Sheriff Dennis Wallace, was shot and killed in line of duty on November 13th, 2016. Man. And I lost 7 other coworkers.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. And now, we're everybody for the same agency?
No, we're our department. Excuse me, our county isn't so big. I mean, about 700,000 now in the county, but a lot of cross pollination, a lot of task force.
Okay.
Working side by side. When you're needing backup, you didn't care what color uniform came rolling up next to you.
Yeah.
You know, that was a lot of that situation.
Wow. Well, we appreciate what you do, and I know you're on the national board currently on the national board for Concerns of Police Survivors. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a labor of love, and I work with some very dedicated, wonderful people.
Outstanding. Again, I wish we didn't have the need for such an organization, but I am very glad that we do have that organization. All right, Dave. Again, what was it, 29 plus years?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I had a front row seat of a lot of funny stuff, a lot of interest, a lot of scary stuff, but it was a good time. It's a good time.
Well, let's hear about some of the funny stuff.
Okay, this next one is a coroner's case. This time it was a 70-something-year-old man died in his lazy boy in the living room. He was living with his daughter and son-in-law. The guy had a plethora of illnesses that they could have, declared the reason he died. He died in the middle of an afternoon nap, sitting in the chair. And,
no offense, but that's kind of the way
you got to go away.
Go easy.
That's it.
I'm with you on that. But so myself and another deputy, we get dispatched out, and it's his call. So we quickly realize it's probably going to be what we call a reportable, which is not needing the coroner's facility. They can send it to a mortuary of their choice. And so the other deputy, he's taking a report. I walk out to my patrol car, getting ready to go back available, go handle calls, when all of a sudden this pickup truck just comes flying up, slides to a stop right in front of the front gate. It's like when they have one of those 5 or 4 foot tall cyclone fences around the front yard. And the guy jumps out of the driver's seat, runs through the front gate, runs right up on the porch, and brother-in-law meets him on the porch. And the guy's, "You killed Dad, you motherfucker," and takes a swing at him. And next thing you know, they go to fighting right on the front porch. Okay. So
That wasn't in the brochure.
yeah.
brochure.
So, of course, I'm across the street seeing this, and I jump out of my patrol car and start hustling over. And the sister / wife, daughter of the decedent, she comes out the front door, sees her brother attacking her husband. So she grabs something hard off the porch and starts to whacking him on the back of the head. And with that, well, that angers the brother's wife, who jumps out of the pickup truck. And next thing you know, they're rolling around in the front yard. And before the other deputy and I could get these guys separated, it's like the whole family, there's like 7 kids in this family. They're all showing up roughly at the same time, and half of them are in the fight, and half of them are trying to pull off, family members of this fight. They're accusing each other of killing Dad, and we're calling for backup. Next thing you know, code 3, our lights and siren.
3.
So code 3, and we got 3 or 4 deputies rolling and a sergeant, and we get, in the end, half hour later, we got, probably 7 or 8 people in handcuffs or flex cuffs sitting on their butts in the front yard. And sergeant, he's deciphering what's going on. Long story short, I don't think anybody went to jail. We left them all,
Yeah. Dad would be so proud.
Well, can you imagine your buddies sitting there in their cars and like, we know you're all there on a dead body call, and all of a sudden you're like, we need backup. You're like, what the heck is going on there?
Yeah,
so half those guys they're rushing you just to see what's going on. You know, it's like there's no way he's on a
Can't be
dead
a fight.
body call and need assistance like that. So we've had it happen.
Code
Yeah.
3 backup for a dead body call.
How dead is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So the moral of the story: pickup trucks, right? Just-
Yep. Yeah.
Once they roll up, it's over.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Did you say this was at a trailer again?
No,
This
well, I mean, it could have been. I mean, just same type of
I'm
neighborhood.
hoping for that one. I'm hoping for trailer.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, no.
I was going to go banjo trailer.
Yeah, no.
same trailer
well,
park.
Yeah.
2
I
days
mean,
later. That's all it
You know,
was.
I think you had to take 4 or 5 of them together to get a full mouthful of teeth. But
Oh. Just gumming it all day.
I don't get it. I'm just kidding. All right.
God.
it's a mouthful.
Yeah, oh.
so
Lack of.
later on, I'm working now for the police department. Same neighborhood, though. You know, again, cross jurisdiction type stuff, and driving with my trainee, and we hear gunshots, and I mean they're close. They're like just behind the house on the next street kind of thing.
Same neighborhood,
Same neighborhood,
same family. They've met
no,
back up
not
again.
Not this time. This time it's a drive-by shooting. And it's actually on viewed by a buddy of mine that's a deputy, that happened. He sees it. He's a half a block down the road, and they go into pursuit. So he goes to pursuit. We're right on it, and we're right there with it. And we go about 2 blocks, and the responsible, he crashes, and he jumps out of his car and tries to run. Well, unfortunately for him, he's 4'5", and the deputy's 6'5". So the pursuit didn't take very long. The foot pursuit didn't take very long. and Jimmy the midget, he's trying to get away, and so Big John, the deputy, he grabs him. We get him in custody, and he goes, "Hey, will you do me a favor?" He said, "Can you go back and get my victims? We'll do an infield show up." So my trainee and I, we go a couple blocks and go pick up one of the witnesses, or excuse me, one of the victims. And she gets in the backseat of my car, and I start to give her the admonishment. She's like, "Where you at? Where you at? Where's that little football? Let me at him. Let me at him." So we come around the corner. She goes, "There he is, that little motherfucker." She goes, "He ain't bigger than football. I'll kick his ass through a goalpost." I'm trying to keep from laughing while I'm trying to give her the admonishment, the official admonishment, for infield show-ups. I couldn't get the words out because she's going at it, and she goes, "He the one. That the one right there. That little football right there. He the
The
one."
little football.
I never heard it called that.
That's love right there.
Yeah, I never
So
heard
she knew him.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those that,
Neighborhood things.
neighborhood
Yeah.
fight, and oh my gosh, it was funny.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you
I
had.
don't-
Go ahead.
I mean, I can't top that. But I mean, let me just clear the air. When I started patrol, my shift took care of me. 2 to 10 shift, they took care of me. They showed me everything I need to know how to be a police officer, because I was green. Like, I grew up in Memphis my whole life, but when I got up to patrol, I was like, this can't be where I grew up. It was a whole new ball game, and they took care of me. So I give it about 2 years in. I used to work in an area called Fraser. That's north of Interstate 240, right before you get to Millington, start going north in of Memphis. Well, this time I had to ride what's called south of the river. That's called North Memphis. So I was riding with a partner, and he's been cool with me ever since I got there, man, showing me all kind of stuff. So we get this call. I don't remember exactly how we got the call, but we ended up at this house. It was either a 911 hang up or someone called for us to check on. And I distinctly remember it because it was during the NCAA tournament. It was like the semifinals or something. And Duke was playing. That's my team there. So I'm like,
Okay.
let's tear this up. We get to this house. little kids. We see through the door. There's like 2 kids sitting on couches watching TV like it ain't nothing, and one opens the door. I'm like, what's going on? It's like something's wrong with Dad. Now we in the hood. This is Memphis finest here, and we're like, okay, where's he at? I think he's back there in the back room. Okay, all right. We make our way through the house. The kids are watching TV as if nothing is going on. I mean, there's no rush. There's no nothing. So we see the door cracked open to the bedroom and there's light coming through. TV's on. There's porn playing. And it's loud. It's loud.
What had happened,
So
Wallace?
we try to go in the door first. So I'm pushing it and it's just like the door ain't moving. Like something's blocking the door.
Behind the door.
So partner, he looks up and he's like, oh brother, hold on a second. I see some feet. I'm like, what? So I'm pushing the door and it's starting to go and you're just hearing something like a it's not a cracking, but the door's going, but it's pushing, it's squeezing something behind the door. And then I push it and right where the crack is, where the door cracks, you can see like a dread falls, like some hair falls. And I'm like, oh. Finally, partner looks in. He goes, oh, brother, that's his head. I'm like, huh? Oh, you don't want to see this. Oh, you don't want to see this. I said, come on, man. We got to get in there. You got to do CPR or something. We got to make sure he's all right. He's like, no, he's gone, brother. So on the floor, he's like 30-year-old man. He's wearing pink panties. That's it. There's a sex toy to his right. He's face down. There's a tray table in there. On the tray table, there's cocaine, ketamine on a plate, a crack pipe, a half-eaten banana. Don't know what was going on with that.
We don't know what the other half was at.
Yeah,
We never found that half.
I didn't ask. I ain't look.
Didn't ask.
And he's just. Oh, I mean, it's tragic. He's dead, but you can tell what happened. He OD'd on cocaine. He did too much. He had some ketamine, and he was gone. So he's like, "Oh, brother, I'm calling rank on this one. You writing this up?" No, I'm not. No. It's not. No. He's like, "No, you write it up." It's like, fine. We hear a knock at the door. What the? And this lady comes in just yelling. This is his wife.
Oh.
She's like, where your daddy at? She's coming to us. She's past the kids. Where your daddy at? What's going on? I'm like, oh, I'm saying, man, just kind of, you don't want to go in there. Why I don't want to go in there? You can't tell me what to do in my house. I'm like, look, just I explain this to you. You explain nothing to me. Just do. She shoves me, and I'm just like, whoa. I said, hey, partner, watch out. She goes to the door. Boom. She pushes the door so hard that bottom hinge pops out. So now it's just like crooked, but she's still going in. And she just yells. And we're like, she saw the body. This mother wearing my panties. You nasty mother. That's where we're going.
That's what she was worried about.
This is what we're doing.
You're going to stretch them out.
While we're dealing with this, other officers had come in and they're all gathered around the TV watching the game.
Watching the game.
And we're just sitting there like, can y'all help us out? She is so mad that he's wearing her panties. Like, him being dead meant nothing. Yo, daddy, a freak. Come on, we get out of here. Blah, blah. I'm just like,
You know, when he was telling that story, I thought maybe Mark got his email.
that's what I was thinking. I was like,
He struck again.
Which is a reference back to episode 9, featuring Mark Lemons from Corpus Christi.
Sorry, I just had to add.
Yeah, and I was actually thanking Mark the whole time he was telling this story, and then I thought we were visiting, what was it, the sex toy store in Corpus Christi?
Something like that.
Yeah.
but how did you get there?
Oh.
Like, how did you lead to that?
You
went to Corpus Christi, and it was like, all right, let's go here.
Yeah, no.
It was a documentary, man. It was educational.
Just seeing what they had, right? I got you.
Well, yeah, you see all,
Yeah.
front row seat to the greatest show on earth.
Nobody believes it. Like, we're good at dinner parties. I'm sure they leave it. And people, when we tell people stories, they just, that couldn't have been real. It's like,
Oh, no.
It's
no.
real.
oh yeah, and that was the tame part.
I had a I made a T-stop on a truck driver that turned out to be suspended, but from between the point of the initial stop and getting information, he was just a total butthead and MFing me and, got no reason to stop him, blah, blah, blah. And, why he was so angry is he was embarrassed. He's got leopard leotard or the leopard like bodysuit and fishnet leggings on, and he's in pumps, and he's out trolling, this particular road trying to find him a date. Well, so he's suspended. So we're towing this ride. And, and
You have to step out, sir.
so you got to get out. Now all of a sudden he's like, can I get a ride? I don't want to be left here. I was like,
You're not my type.
yeah,
Sir.
exactly. It doesn't say taxi, and we ain't going to jail. So
Sorry, sir.
He didn't lick the back of his hands and clean his face, did he?
Policy.
so you never know who.
You don't transport animals. You don't transport leopards.
No.
But did it look
zoo
good,
was
though?
closed.
But did the fit work for him though?
Yeah, was he rocking it? Or
Yeah, I mean, was he?
Oh,
What's it called?
well,
did he
that-
slay?
Yeah, the thong thing, with the fishnet coming up his crack. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I guess you could take him to the neighborhood. The banjo trailer park?
That's probably where he was going.
Probably where he came from, but yeah.
Just drop him off the animal shelter. He needs some vaccination, guys.
Yeah. Do what you can for him.
Put this one up for adoption.
Don't forget to spay or neuter your animals.
yeah.
Thank you, Bob Barker.
He definitely needed some neutering.
Extra fees associated with this.
All right, guys.
Put a chip in him. Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. We need to take a break. Welcome back. Welcome back to Offbeat, the light side of law enforcement. I'm your host, retired officer Steve Rutherford. Co-host for today's show, Detective Curtis
How you
Hadley.
doing, guys?
Joining us in studio, we've got two guests. We've got Officer Michael Britton,
How y'all doing?
and we've also got retired officer. I almost said officer. I almost put you back to work.
That's okay.
We've got retired officer Dave Wallace.
How's everybody doing?
Man, what a fun show. All right, going into segment 3 here. I do want to remind listeners, if you have not been to our website, check it out, offbeatcopshow.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow.com. Subscribe to the email list that's on there. And if you're an officer and you've got a funny story that you'd like to come on the show and share with our listeners, then send us an email, offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Again, that's offbeatcopshow@gmail.com. Now, Dave, on break, you were sharing a story with us.
Yeah, so talking about my time in training as a training officer, and spent 14 years doing that. So I had a lot of interesting stuff that took place. And this one particular day, I had a trainee, and it was his first phase, and it was his first day behind the wheel of the car. So, and I told him, we got a pretty hot call right out of the chute. We were still downtown, and it's two brothers. Turns out to be two brothers in their 30s, still living home with mom and daddy. So you can tell part of the problem. And they were out front and got into a physical fight, and they started picking up lawn tools.
Ooh.
And started swinging them at each other.
Getting real.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we're taking it up a notch now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So, we're getting ready to head for this call, and I asked him, I said, okay, you understand what you're going to? And he goes, yeah. I said, do you know where you're going? And this is before, now in the cars, they have the GPS system, basically, self-guides them to the calls. Back then, they had the old beat maps. So, the old fire maps. So I said, hey, get your beat map out. I said, showed him out with the coordinates and what page. And so he flips to it. And I said, you know where you're going? He says, yes, sir. And I said, you sure? And he goes, yep, that's all right. Let's roll. So we take off and we're going, light speed. Problem was I let him go about 3 blocks northbound, though the call was southbound.
Oh.
So, clue number 1, the FGO says, do you know where you're going? Are we heading the right route? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you sure? Turn this car around, damn it. We're going the wrong way. And so he turns it around, and I tell him, pull the curb, look at your map, figure out where the hell you're going, and let's go. So now he's fumbling through, trying to figure it out. He's getting kind of frantic, And I said, I'll handle the radio. You just get us there. You do the driving. That's the only thing I want you to focus on right now. So he goes, all right, I got it. You sure? Yeah, I got it. So off we take off again, like a bat out of hell. Okay, so now we're going down this major street, and the road that we're going to be turning onto where this call is parallel, or not parallels, but comes into that major. Okay.
All right.
So we're moving down the road, and we're probably, it's a 35 zone. We're doing 55, 60. It's a Saturday morning, but early in the morning. So it's like 7 a.m. before any real traffic. So I'm not too worried about that. But we come up around this curve, and I know that the street we're going to is coming up pretty quick. And he ain't slowing down. He's speeding up. So
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta make a statement when you show up, right?
Police coming.
Yeah.
So either we're going to do a power slide around this corner, or he don't know where the hell he's going again. So sure enough, we go blowing right on by it, And I let him go for about 2 blocks, and finally I said, you know where you're going? And he goes, yeah, it's right up here. I said, no, it's not. You just passed it. So stops, gets out, or makes another U-turn, finds the street finally. And I told him on the way in, I said, hey, when you get close, I want you a couple blocks out, hit the on-scene button, on the computer, and verbalize it that you're showing up on scene. I said, that way everything's taken care of. Now your eyes are up on the scene itself, right? So he does that. We come around the corner, and last thing I tell him as we're turning this corner, I said, oh, by the way, this neighborhood I said, the curbs on this neighborhood aren't your standard 4-inch curbs, 5-inch curbs. They're actually closer to a foot tall. So don't park me too close to the curb. He pulls up right along, not even a foot off the damn curb. Okay. And one of the 2 brothers is like 4 feet away from the edge of the road, and he's standing there still holding now what's the handle of a broken hoe, and he's holding his hand. So he pulls me up. Literally, I could gut shot this guy. That's how close I am, right? But I can't get my door open either. So I've got my gun drawn. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, got the gun out the window, and I'm telling this fool, drop the handle or I'm going to shoot him in the face. And I had to tell him a second time. He drops the thing. His brother's already standing back about 10 feet. And I tell them both to get on the ground. I'm ordering all this from the seat of the passenger side of this patrol car. And I tell my trainee, I said, I want you to know something. I said, if I have to shoot either one of these guys, I'm shooting you next. So he and another trainee from the car behind us, they get out and they cuff these guys up, get it under control. Finally, he's after they're detained, he comes back around, gets in the driver's seat, pulls forward about 4 or 5 feet so I can finally get out of the patrol car.
Rookie mistake.
But you handled it well.
With the whole training thing always gave you a lot of really good times. I enjoyed training when I did it because it was always something funny.
There's there's days that you're getting overpaid, and there's days that they ain't paying you near enough.
I found that the days you're not getting paid near enough tend to be more frequent than those that you do
That's
get
how you
paid
take
enough.
them, I guess. Yeah.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today's show. Again, visit the website if you haven't been there yet, offbeatcopshow.com. Make sure you subscribe to the email and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, guys, stay safe and watch each other six.